All right guys, so it's been a while since I've done an update on the RX8. Joe and I have been kind of getting into this thing a little bit. Not too crazy. I've kind of got a lot of other stuff going on. It's also hot as shit here in Pennsylvania. But I've been working on this thing a little bit after hours and such with him and getting some work done. I don't even remember exactly where I'm at anymore as far as the video series goes because I really don't give a fuck. But anyways, we got a motor in it. So let me lower the lift down and yeah, I'll show you guys what's going on. All right, so in this project, we're motor plating it. If you're not familiar with what a motor plate is, it's this big black plate right here on the front. Basically, what we do is it bolts up to the front of the engine, and then we make mounts, like you can see here, that come across this bar and bolt the motor plate to the actual chassis. This is a much stiffer way to be able to work on a motor instead of having regular engine mounts. Even solid engine mounts, what they do is they pull on the side of the block. It makes it really easy to split the block, you know, do stuff like that to it. By motor plating an engine, you create a lot of strength and rigidity in the front. It also ties up the chassis really good, makes the car work a lot better. And then you can also see in the back here, we have what's called a mid plate. That's this big steel plate you see between we got a mock-up trans in here, between the trans and the engine itself. The mid plate basically is just a thin piece of 1/8 inch steel. Some people use like 1/4 inch aluminum too. It really doesn't matter. But what the mid plate does is the mid plate ties up the chassis in the same manner the motor plate does, with making it that you're tying the bell housing, so to speak, to the chassis. Okay. Again, usually tied down with 4 bolts. You know, walk over here to Mike's car, I can show you guys. We did a little bit differently on his when I did it. His is a big block Chevy. I have these huge 1/2 inch bolts that actually hold the front motor plate in, and then the mid plate is bolted in with actually an aluminum one. So you can see on his car, we got these fancy big ass bolts right here, the big ass bolts. And then he's got this nice, you know, motor plate here that holds his setup together. So anyways, where I'm at right now with the RX8, again, I don't really remember where I had left off. I know I introduced it. I don't really think I posted too much about it since then. Just been kind of running through and working on the minor stuff. Got the motor together for it, as you guys can see. This is a 5.3 Gen 4 aluminum bottom end with all stock bottom end stuff. And I redid the motor, did the heads, and just kind of refreshing everything up. And then we got a BTR stage 4 cam in there. And then these are a set of Flowtech headers you see. As far as the cage goes, like I said, I don't remember what I had finished off with, but I have most of the cage fit and finished where I want to be. I kind of held off to finishing the cage. You know, we got a lot of this stuff all fit up here, and also like for the most part basically finish welded. But with what we got going on with the transmission tunnel, I wanted to kind of hold off to go any further till I knew what I wanted to do. So that's why I held off with the cage, because I might end up trying to tie some of the cage into the trans tunnel work when I do that. So I'm kind of, you know, with the fab work side of stuff, if you're going to do it properly, a lot of times you're taking stuff apart 2-3 times to fit it, make sure it's going to work, and then kind of go from there. Like today, one of the things I realized is, holy shit, these headers are tight over here. I'm not going to be doing plugs. You know, I can pull number 8, number 6. Number 4, I could probably get to it if I really wanted to. And number 2, oh, I messed up my watch. Number 2, I could get to as well, but you know, it's definitely going to be something we're going to be doing when the motor's cold. Over here on 1, I didn't even try this side. Let's see, can we get? I could get 1. I don't know about 3. 5 is definitely going to be tight, and we could get 7. Now from underneath, oh, you have all the room in the world. And that's one of the nice things about a motor plate is, you know, you can actually have a front cross member, K member setup, whatever you want to call it, where you don't have anything there. That you can drop the oil pan off of it. You'll be able to service everything from underneath. It just gives you all the room in the world. you know, so pretty awesome setup when you're able to motor plate a vehicle and go from there. Now obviously you lose some things with that, you know, obviously you're gonna feel all the, you know, vibrations, whatever, of the motor and everything going on along with it. So, you know, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So anyways, next thing we're gonna kind of go over here is I have this BTR intake on here, and I plan on actually flipping this. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna spin it 180, I'm gonna have the throttle body facing inward so that our intercooler is gonna be inside the car. Very similar to how I did Mike's Camaro. And with the intercooler inside, I'm able to have a really short runner up to it, and then we'll have our turbo up front here and be able to run up through and go probably right through that pocket right there where the master cylinder would be on a right-hand drive car. That being said, you know, what I noticed today is you can see we got a little bit of a clearance issue here. I don't really want to go down any lower with the motor. I probably could if I really wanted to, but I really don't want to lower the motor. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to get rid of this center windshield wiper piece here. I'm going to cut the cowling out up to the windshield wiper, so we're going to close the wiper box in. And because I would like to retain at least one wiper on it if I ever do want to street drive this thing. It'd be fun as shit to do like drag week with this. I don't even know if we can or not, but and I really don't care. I'm not really building this car for much of a purpose other than like, let's build something cool for the shop. So that being said, you know, we're gonna close this thing up, and that way Joe's cool with having one wiper. We've already discussed it, and we're gonna have this open up a little bit more. That way I have some more room to get up underneath there, and we're gonna basically box in this windshield frame so that we open up this area and I have the space to be able to get my intake tube up through there and make it all work. Unfortunately, when you're doing something heavily modified like this car is going to be, there's a lot of cutting and grinding sometimes, and you know, like I said, a lot of times you're taking stuff apart 2-3 times to figure out what the hell you want to do. But yeah, that's our update. You know, nothing real crazy here. I didn't want to get real nuts with a second build video. I do plan on putting in some more hours on this thing tomorrow. I'm hoping to get the mid plate mounted and welded. Maybe I'll do a little bit of video while I'm doing that, and I plan on making some new parts on our new plasma table. On the last video, the car was actually parked over here. It wasn't on the lift, and since then we got this pretty awesome brand new table from Eastwood. This is a CNC plasma table. What this guy does is he's able to cut out parts that I designed in SolidWorks, or if you're using Fusion 360, whatever the case is. But this is a new product from them. They gave it over to us. I guess I've had it for about a little bit over a month now, and I've been kind of just like cutting all kinds of stuff and making parts and whatever. This makes it really easy when you're doing a lot of production stuff. You can come in here. I did the other week, I had to cut a bunch of aluminum stuff. You can see all those squares right there on that plate. Gave us all the stuff. We're able to just run through, make all that in one shot, and like not have to sit there and go over and over again. I did like my old table, but it was small. It was very finicky. It was very much made more for a hobbyist, where this table is very much more made for somebody in the, you know, the level that I'm at, you know, where you're doing mild production, you're doing some R&D, and you need something that's not going to let you down. So it does come with a 60 amp plasma machine. You can also upgrade it to whatever you wanted to if you actually really wanted to, but at 60 amps you're able to cut, really you could cut up to 1/2 inch with it if you set the machine up correctly. So I'm going to be doing a lot of playing around with it. We'll be making some parts on there, you know, all kinds of fun stuff, and doing all kinds of shit. Definitely plan on making some stuff for this car. I know that Eastwood talked to me. They want to do some shooting down here with the car while we're building, you know, it for Joe, and they want me to make some parts for the car on their stuff. That way we can show how the table works and all that fun stuff. All right, guys, it's Saturday back here at the shop, and we're going to talk about how to set your mid plate motor plate angle. So as I went over earlier, with the mid plate, looks like that, or sorry, motor plate looks like that. Goes on the front of the motor, bolts up the sides of the frame rails, whatever you create there, and that's what you got. The mid plate goes between the engine and the transmission. It's this metal plate right here that you see. You see I don't have any brackets yet. We're gonna make brackets that come over from here over to here, and then we're gonna finish weld all this shit up. Right now, if you look, I got quite a deficit in difference here on side to side. The reason is I have the motor plate in backwards. I cut it, it's offset from one side to the other, and when I bolted the motor up yesterday, I wasn't paying attention, I put the wrong side in. Everybody makes mistakes, hey, it is what it is. But anyways, we're gonna talk about angle. You need to angle the motor down a little bit to get it to sit the way you want it to. It also changes the center of gravity on how the car reacts. So first things first is you want to turn on your laser level, or sorry, a level of whatever you're using. I'm using electronic level. You can also use the standard like needle level, whichever works. You can see this is set at 0. What we want to do is we want to put this at we're looking for about 2 to 3 degrees, and right there you see we're at 2.9, 3.1. So we'll go up a little bit here. Let this thing, it takes a minute for it to pick up sometimes when you make a change, or it's gonna make me a liar, either or. Oops. Sometimes moving it around helps too. So we got 2.2. I want to go for about 2.5. This car is going to have quite a bit of nose weight. The main thing with it is where my cylinder 1 is. Normally when you motor plate a car, you want to put cylinder 1 at the center line of the spindle. Well, because of how short the wheelbase is on this car, you really can't do that without like cutting the shit out of the firewall, moving everything back real hard, all that stuff. So now we have it set here where we want it to be. And Mike came to interrupt us. All right, so I made some brackets for the mid plate. We're gonna run them here on our Eastwood plasma table that I was telling you guys about, and see what we got here. Really can't see this too well, but I'm gonna just run through real quick and pick our files, what we're doing here. yeah, till next time, check us out. PSR Performance, obviously you're already following my channel, so like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this little recap on what we got going on here. But tomorrow I'm going to be working on this some more, and head on over and check out the race show with me, Lewis, Mike Serrano, and some of the other people that are around in my vicinity here with the shop. And also check out the Horsepower Brothers, the guys Serrano and his brother Richie. They are doing a ton of shooting down here at the shop and been doing some really cool stuff. So thanks for checking us out, guys, and we'll see you next time.